The protective behavior of dogs over their owners may be summarized into a few main reasons: loyalty, concern for themselves and for their owner. So, do you believe dogs are man's best friend? Stay tuned and keep an eye on this. Many people are aware that the world is filled with cruelty. Cruelty can take many forms, but perhaps the most widely recognized forms of cruelty are cruelty to animals and cruelty to children. Some people will go to great lengths to be cruel to animals, particularly dogs. It's odd because it's man's best friend. Some people even leave rat poison wrapped in meat around dog parks in the hopes of killing one of the many beloved pets who visit the park on a daily basis. Despite this, dogs remain loyal and are always there to help humans in need, even if it means risking or giving their lives to do so. Regardless of how much hatred and abuse humans direct at dogs, most dogs, even those who have endured the most heinous forms of abuse, still love humans. Even wild dogs such as wolves will come to the aid of humans. It could be the only link between the two species. Dogs make the world a better place by their unfailing love. In today's video, we get to see just how devoted these little animals are. In 2015, the event took place. The protagonist, an stray canine with an adult demeanor, wandered the streets in search of food. Nevertheless, his search was always exhausting, and he was becoming weaker by the day. One day, while looking for food in a garbage dump, he was drawn to the whimpering of a newborn baby with its umbilical cord still attached to its body. What he did next demonstrated not only the dog's sensitivity to humans, but also why the dog has long been regarded as a loyal animal. Because the canine was aware that the baby was in distress, he made certain that it was not further harmed. This brave dog gently lifted the baby in his mouth around the chest, as if he knew the chest would be the child's strongest part, and carried her off the ground. We'll find out her entire story at the end of the video. But first, like it and share it with others, and make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications bell turned on. He took the baby to the nearest family home, placed her on the porch, and sat with her until help arrived. The dog barked and barked, expecting someone to come out of the house. When the family noticed the loud barking, they opened the door to find the baby on their doorstep. Isn't it incredible? The worried family rushed the newborn to the hospital. After all, she was frail, and her chances of survival were slim. Nonetheless, the doctors did everything they could to help the baby regain his or her strength and breath. After all the commotion, Oman's authorities began to investigate what happened to the baby. This stray dog's actions were nothing short of heroic. After all, he almost saved a human life from the jaws of death. The dog was starving and the baby was in critical condition. Despite this, the animal paused in his search for food to perform a memorable act. You could argue that our story's hero acted more humanely than many humans. We can only hope that the futures of both the baby and the dog are filled with love and food. Isn't this a fantastic story? But wait, there's another case similar to this one. Let's hear a little more about this other story. Okay, let's get started. Angels of protection do exist. If that doesn't explain it, this is Hel, an adorable little dog who's been praised all over the UK after showing up at a critical time for a newborn who'd been abandoned. Derry Walsh, the husky's owner, was taking the dog for a walk last week when the dog came across a pile of blankets under a bush in Birmingham. He heard this baby crying all of a sudden, said Walsh, 64, in an interview with local media outlet in his hometown. Hal's gentle nudge in the warmth of his husky's body, he added, was what woke the baby up. According to the wall, the baby was wrapped in a blanket and was probably only a few hours old when he was discovered. The man followed his dog's lead and discovered the abandoned baby, taking him to the nearest hospital without hesitation. The baby, thankfully, was healthy and strong. He was named George by Walsh and the police officers in charge of the case because he was discovered the day before St. George's Day. He thanked the Lord that the baby was still alive. Walsh told Birmingham Life that things could have been much worse. The baby could have died, and he told his neighbors that heaven dispatched hell to save a newborn baby. Following the discovery and confirmation that the baby is healthy, police and Walsh have launched an investigation because neither knows the circumstances surrounding George and his father. George is safe and sound. and his health and well-being are our top priorities. You can be certain that he's not in danger. Police received CCTV footage of a woman seen walking near the scene about 30 minutes before George was discovered and asked the public for assistance in identifying her. If she doesn't appear, a foster family must be found. Whatever occurs, we wish George the best. As for Hal, the protagonist of this story, his owner and best friend Walsh is overjoyed that he's received such a positive response. Wait a minute, there's another lovely story. Pootie is a dog who saved the life of a 1-month-old baby in Argentina. The child, named Santino, was abandoned in the backyard of a house in the town of Ver del Pino inside a pram. The dog, noticing the baby's presence and most likely the baby's gentleness and lack of temperature, picked him up and covered him with her body in the same way he does with her pups, saving him from death by cold. 3 of Veranda Pino, according to the FM radio portal. The incident occurred in the hours of July 12, 2015. The following morning, the child was discovered by the landowners, who fed him and took him to the hospital. Jose Akiza, the maternal infantile, where he received medical attention. What happened to the irresponsible person who abandoned the baby just 2 days after it was discovered? The source of all of this has been identified. It had to be the mother. She was immediately arrested and subjected to the full force of the law. While Santino and his other siblings, yes, the woman had more children, were taken to a maternal home by order of the judge involved in the case. A rather ominous fact, but one with a happy ending, because of a caring dog mother. Unbelievable, don't you agree? Please let us know what you thought of these unpublished stories. What are your thoughts on them? What are your thoughts on this story, friends? How is this even possible? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section.